A lot of shifting and moving around in this 2023 NFL offseason. We're going to look at 12 running backs that swapped teams, went elsewhere, and their projected success for the 2023 season. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back after another reaction, analysis, whatever you want to call it, news, video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. Stick around for the news. It's going to get good, but you won't, so it doesn't even matter. Anyways, let's get into this article by Kevin Patrick. He's been doing a series I reacted to, but anyways, I analyzed the receivers and QBs. Now it's time for the most marginalized position, star-studded but underpaid position in the NFL, the running backs. So first, let's see who they have. Oh, let's get into some news. So Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and Tony Pollard were all re-signed on franchise tags. Well, Saquon has yet to sign his, but they all make a shade over 10 million, like I think 10.07 million, 70,000, chump change. But yeah, other people signed elsewhere. You can see here from some of the names that are in blue. But let's get into the first guy, and man, it's a goodie, an oldie but goodie. Miles Sanders, drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. In year 5, going into year 5, he played 4 years with us. He had his best season this past season. He started all 17 games, 1,269 yards, 4.9 yard average, 11 TDs, and negligible, almost nothing in the receiving game. But he did have 500 yards, 50 receptions, and about 3 or 4 TDs in his rookie year. So why the Eagles didn't use him in that capacity is just mystifying to me. But his numbers are going to obviously be worse. It's not that he's a bad back. It's just he played behind a star-studded O-line. The best, if you could say one of the best, but I'd say it's the best in the league. And many pundits would agree with me. And he had a star-studded cast around him. 2 nice bookend receivers, an excellent top 5 tight end, as well as some other backs only that could hold it down. But a running threat in the QB, which made him that all more dangerous. They made each other dangerous. But let's not get it confused here. Having a running quarterback, who can pass as a running quarterback, who has the skills to be a running quarterback when he chooses to, makes a running back all the more dangerous in the backfield. So you can see that defenses had to pick their poison, and they often picked wrong, and it allowed for Miles to go off. I mean, first game against the Giants, he just destroyed them because Jalen allowed him to do so. But that being said, Miles is a great back. He'll still maybe hover around 1,000 yards, but the key with him is staying healthy. He's not that he's missed a huge amount of games like one guy we get to do further down on this list, but it's a handful of games, but he really put it together this last season, and he'll be a great addition for the Panthers, especially for a quarterback coming in as expected, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, that's going to need all the help they can get. But 6.35 million. It was kind of like a mid-range deal, but still under the franchise tag, under the market value for a position that's heavily featured, but doesn't get the money for those features. All right, let's make sure you do that. All right, David Montgomery, the transplant from the Bears going to the Detroit Lions, came out in the same draft, going into year 5, same age as Sanders, 26. He had a so-so season, 16 games, 801 yards, just at that acceptable yards per carry, 4 yards per clip, and 5 rushing TDs. Got a down season for him. He's averaged around that number. I think he had like 1,000 yards the previous season, but it was a very, very quiet one. He's a very solid back. He has some good receiving skills, as you can see here, 34 receptions, 316 yards, and a TD. Doesn't really put the ball on the ground, 2 fumbles, but he'll be better. Like they said here, Jamal Williams is out the door, and Swift is probably going to be the third down back they bring in. They're going to heavily feature this guy. He doesn't have that much tread on the tires, and like you said, he's trying to get back to the 1,000-yard plateau. And with just DeAndre Swift to back him up, he's going to be heavily featured. And he's a mid-sized back, like 210s, 215 probably range, 5'11", stocky guy, well built for his size and frame, but he brings a lot to the offense and balance, and he has a good complement of receivers that could do a little bit better, but I mean, yeah, he's going to have a good effect. Bringing I think they still run play action there with Jared Goff there, and he's a heavy proponent of that. He's the best quarterback now. Well, Aaron Rodgers is still in that division, but when he goes out, he'll be the best quarterback in NFC North, and makes it very winnable for them. So they could use a piece like David Montgomery to continue the balance that they need to try and push for that crown there. All right, Jamal Williams, the man we just spoke of, going to the New Orleans Saints, and he's making $4 million. Something was on the lower end. It's like a 3-year, maybe $4 million deal, but that just shows you where the running back market is at. 17 games, he appeared in all of them. 1,000 yards, he crossed that barrier for the first time. 4.1 yards a clip, decent. 17 rushing TDs though. He was just an animal. He just went off. Got the goal line carries, and he edged out, like we said, DeAndre Swift there, heavily featured. He couldn't be dependent on health-wise, but Jamal Williams put it together. Year 7, he's 6, but year 7 now. He's 28, so he's an older back, but he hasn't had so much tread on his tires. He's shielded backfield most of the time. Him coming out of Green Bay, and him and Aaron Jones shared the backfield for a while before he left for greener pastures, no pun intended. But he's a solid back. He will bring a lot to the backfield there, and an upgrade over Mark Ingram, and going to back up Kamara there. So those two could be force to be reckoned with. They're two bigger backs, bring size as well as speed to the equation. But Alvin is that do it all-purpose back. He can pass block with the best of them, and he has soft hands, runs good routes. So. He's adding a lot, but he's going to be like the hammer in this offense. But what a hell of a hammer to have. 17 rushing touchdowns. But here we see, like I said, a red zone monster. 13 of those 17 scored inside the 3-yard line. So they're going to try and run up the score there in New Orleans and compete for that NFC South crown. And they brought in David Carr as a quarterback. So you got to like them as the favorites to come out of the NFC South. All right, Samaj Perine. So, I mean, he's been a perennial backup. See what I did there? Year 7, 27, young guy who came into the league. Came in with the Washington Redskins kind of, he wasn't ready for what, the role. You see that James Harden-esque beard. He's a battle hardened. A very slower back plotting, but, he has he has a good skill set. He can be a decent outlet for, dump off passes and stuff. Coming out of the backfield there, 30 receptions, 287 yards, 4 receiving TDs. A little bit underrated. I'd say he's a very underrated guy. He's found his niche, his mold, coming in as a backup. He's gonna have better numbers than 394 yards. Sorry, I didn't project this guy. He's gonna have worse yards, obviously, because 1,000 yards. He's gonna be the backup to Kamara. And this guy, I don't know if I project him as well. Well, no, I did project him. He's gonna have somewhere around 1,000 yards. But back to not this guy, but this guy. He's a talented back for what he is. He knows his role is gonna play it, but he's got to believe he's gonna have somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 600 yards. Being the backup there, they want Javonte Williams obviously to be the starter, the 3rd-year back. Coming off an injury. He has a promising future there in Denver, and he's gonna be his caddy. I won't say holding jockstrap, that doesn't sound right, but $3.75 million, very palatable. Golly, man, what does it work? But he's gonna play his role in the offense, and they're gonna lean heavy on the run there. Want to take the pressure off rush. He's in a rush. Trying to validate that $250 million contract that he received there in Denver, but they're gonna lean on the run game to maybe close out games, and Samaj Perine could play a key role in that while they try to get the wheels there rolling on that bus there and try to get things going round and round and round, moving forward, of course, hoping not backwards this season. All right, Devin Singletary, man, an underrated signing here. $2.75 million. So I just, like I said, it goes to underscore, man. These guys are not getting paid a lot, you know, compared to their production. A guy who rushes for 819 yards at 4.6 a clip with 5 rushing TDs, 30 receptions, 280 yards. You know, very incredible threat out of the backfield. He's a good outlet for any quarterback, and you know he's sneaky because he's like 5'9", 5'10". Well, he's like around 200, 205, maybe 210, but he's a very solidly built guy, speedy guy. I think he came out of FIU, but I mean, yeah, this guy is work with Josh Allen, and him being his quarterback that contributed to that high yards per clip. But yeah, he's coming in to back up Dameon Pierce, the 4th round pick out of Florida, there in Houston, who had a very solid season. He was on his way to 1,000 yards, but he got hurt himself, ankle injury, and they shut him down for the rest of the year. But this gives them a solid 1-2 punch, and they might add to it. But Devin brings starting experience, but as well as being able to pick up, even at his size, pick up the pass blocking things, and like I said, he's a credible receiving threat out there. So they can use him coming in as a 3rd down back, and they're gaining a lot. So they add a lot to their offense there, and hopefully he meshes with the projected new quarterback coming into Houston. James Robinson. This is another underrated signing, as expected, of the New England Patriots. He's in year 4, rushed for 1,000 yards. Is his rookie season. I think he was undrafted at that. But good find. But Jaguars wanted more. Their eyes got big. They drafted Travis Etienne the 1st round there in Clemson. He got hurt his first year, so they were able to still depend on James. But they shipped him out to the Jets last year, and he got hurt, knee injury. It's just the luck of the draw. He had 425 yards, 3.9 a carry, so it probably his career lows. 3 rushing TDs, not too many yards in reception, but two receiving TDs. So I mean he's also an all-purpose back, and he has good speed, very good at reading holes, and has good vision. Just not what the Jaguars wanted, so they shipped him out, and he didn't he finished out the year with the Jets, and then he's moving on to their division rival. They saw something in him, New England Patriots, and they don't do feature backs really anymore. They're the Corey Dillon might have been the last one they had. So now they're just having him in that rotation. Ramondre Stevenson, another guy I forget there. I don't even know the guys in New England. That's how they much shuffle. They at least have like 3 competent backs at the very least in Bill Belichick's offense, and his numbers are probably gonna be better. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 500, 600 yards, but it'll be touch and go. It could just be around the same because we just never know. But $2 million salary tells you all you need to know about where the focus is. Low risk, high reward type player, as usual per Bill Belichick. Deonta Foreman coming out here. He went to the Bears to replace David Montgomery. So we're doing musical chairs. I mean, a little clown world. I'm talking about the pay because these guys deserve more. $2 million. Come on, this guy's a steal. Had a somewhat breakout year last year. 914 yards, 4.5 a clip. There in Carolina, 5 rushing TDs. Being asked to replace midseason Christian McCaffrey in a trade. He did a solid job. Numbers are, I would say they could come down, but he could have somewhere in the neighborhood. But I would say at the very bottom maybe 800 yards. But he could be have 1,000, 1,100 yards. The guy is really good. Has good size. He's about the 215, 220 neighborhood. Runs a 4.4. He has the 7th year in the league, but he's finally put it together. Found some success in the league. Bounced around a little bit. Drafted with Houston. Started out with them. I think it's a 2nd round pick, and it just didn't stick. But he's found his footing, his legging, and he's putting up solid seasons here in the league. And here in the 7th year, has a good chance. I mean, actually, looking at Justin Fields, if he retains his running ways, numbers might come down some, and he wasn't featured in the passing game a lot. I don't know if that's due to skill or not. Didn't do that much research into the guy, but he's gonna add a lot to Chicago there, and make them even more dangerous. But in turn, of course, like I just said with Jalen, this guy, Justin Fields now will make him all the more dangerous there in the Windy City. All right, Damian Harris, a swap again, a division mate. He goes for the New England Patriots to the Buffalo Bills, and he's gonna have a better season than this. And hey, man, this is the lowest you see on the list. Golly, man, 1.77 million, 462 rushing yards at 4.4 a clip, 3 rushing TDs. You see like a decent number of receiving yards for compared to receptions. No TDs, but he's a do-it-all back there, an all-purpose guy. He'll have better numbers in this. He could have 500, 600. He could 700, 800. It depends on who's the starter there, because I think he might be the lead guy now. Devin Singletary left, and now he's going, to fill the job there. And who they might draft a guy. I think it might have. James Cook is still there, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It depends on who ends up being in that lead role. So we don't know who it could be. He's coming off an injury riddled season, so that might lead towards you thinking that James Cook, they're gonna want to let the young guy, because he's coming in. Yeah, I would say they're probably gonna let the young guy lead. So 500, 600 yards is a good ballpark to table him for, but you just never know because injuries and things like that happen. And here's an interesting one: the Philadelphia Eagles back on the board. The guy they brought in from the Seattle Seahawks, Rashad Penny, and it just keeps on getting lower and lower. He's coming in at a low 1.35 million, and the reason being he is an injury risk. He's played in of all the games he's played in, the 83 games he's played in, 42 games missed, 41 games he's appeared in. And the last 3 seasons, he's had 18 starts total. And then the last 2 seasons, 5 and 6 starts. He's gone out with a season-ending injury back-to-back seasons. So all 5 years he's played, he's never started all 16 or 17 games. And then the last 3 years, it's been abysmal. It's been 10, the high, in 2020, 5 games or 6 games in 2021, and then 5 or 6 games in 2022. So you cannot depend on this guy. Look at the guy's production last year: 56 rushes for 346 yards, 6.1 a clip. You that's what you dream of. You got you salivating at the fucking at the fucking potential. 2 rushing TDs, 4 receptions, 16 yards. He's a better receiving back than that. But his numbers are going to be better. But the big caveat is if he can stay healthy. You just don't know with this guy, man. You just don't know. It's a given his history. The history says that he's not going to finish the season. So I mean, this is why I say draft 5, like Philly 500 and Joey Shake 72 say, draft Bijan Robinson in this mitigation. You bring this guy in as a closer, and then you have Gainwell as the third down back. Man, we are set to go. And then for next 4 seasons with a 5th-year option, you got the top 10, maybe as soon as next season, a top 5 back in the league. That just it spins my wheels thinking about how people can argue against drafting Bijan Robinson with all the benefits that come with it. But anyways, like I said, this guy, great potential, but it means nothing if he's not able to stay on the field and show what he can do. And looking back over all of the seasons that he's participated in the NFL, the chance that he's not going to suit up is high. So it's bye. All right, D'Ernest Johnson, caddy there in Cleveland. Year 5, but he has very low tread on his tires. Look at the numbers here. This is like a 1-game appearance. This is looking like Trey Sermon's numbers. 4 attempts, 17 yards, 4.3, great, but they don't really show anything. 3 receptions, 7 yards. Numbers, I mean, they have to be better. And the numbers she's going down, 1.23 million. Commensurate with what his game, even more than that. He's getting paid per carry more than Rashad Penny did for appearing in at least he appeared in 5 games. But yeah, it's crazy. This guy has good talent. He rushed, had a good performances when the starters were out. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So he was just kind of like in between a rock and a hard place. Good place to be. Good line. Obviously with the production the 2 guys had in front of him, but yeah, those 2 guys in front of you. So you were never gonna be the guy there in Cleveland. So he leaves for greener pastures here. Is able to back up Travis Etienne and give them a solid 1-2 punch there in Duval. All right, Ronald Jones here going to the Dallas Cowboys. Again, $1.33 million. He had a lost season. It's gonna be better than this. 17 attempts, 70 rushing yards, 4.1 a carry, 1 TD. He 22 receiving yards, 1 reception. So he shows his explosiveness there. It's definitely an upgrade over Zeke, and a good replacement. So he's gonna bring a little bit of size and tremendous speed. It's a 4.4 there to Dallas, backing up Tony Pollard. So Tony Pollard's gonna be the Lightning, and this guy just might be the Thunder. So an upgrade for Dallas. Oh, what? Dallas is out here making smart moves? What? All right. Chase Edmonds, year 6, 27 years old, $1.33 million again. We're hitting on the number. The number's gonna be better. He was injured last season. He's a talented guy. He's better than 3.6. I think he's averaged like 4.4, somewhere around there, for his career. Had some good seasons out there in Arizona as well, but just didn't hit it off in Tampa. And it's a big chance with Leonard Fournette not re-signing with Tampa. He could be in for like a good upgrade on. I'm not gonna give any numbers anymore, maybe, but I can't say this guy is just a wild card. But we don't know. But he can be featured in the passing game as well. So does he play a complementary role, or back up to Rachaad White? I have no idea about the guy either. So it's just a unknown there in Tampa. So we'll have to see how that situation shakes out. All right, and that's it for those guys. But we'll look around the league and see what else is going on. All right. Bud Dupree signing with the Atlanta Falcons, so they add to that pass rush there. Coming in from the Titans. He had an injury-riddled season, so good deal for them, $5 million. Very good in the savings. But, they're not done there. He could be depth or he could be a starter. Depends on his health. But it'll be interesting where they play him, because I don't know if I think they're still a 4-3 traditionally 4-3 defense. Traditional 4-3 defense. All right, Damiere Byrd, receiver there, depth signing by the Carolina Panthers. Drew Sample, another depth signing for the Cincinnati Bengals. Marquise Goodwin, third or fourth receiver, battling for a third, because they brought in so many receivers this offseason, so they're just kind of throwing so many things at the wall and see what sticks. Another along on the roster chart there. So C.J. Stroud making the rounds here. Justin Watson, a receiver who the Chiefs like quite a bit. He's like a 4th or 5th receiver, boundary receiver, but he kind of played a pivotal role when they had some injuries in the playoff game. It might have been the divisional round, so it's hard to have him stick around. Let's see, Troy Reader, another depth signing. Tanner Muse as well, depth signing. Kelly Hyder. I've heard Kerry Hyder. Heard of you, but don't really know. We'll get into this one here later. But let's look here. Unrest in Arizona. Arizona Pro Bowl safety Buda Baker requests a trade, so he's not happy there in the desert. It probably has something to do with his deal. He signed a 4-year, $59 million deal, so one of the top safeties, getting paid out here. That eliminates him from the Eagles because he has no guarantees left, so that's probably what he's after. Has like 13 and then 14 million, I think, on the last 2 seasons of the deal. But it's not a good thing. His leverage, he doesn't really have that much. And where's he going to be targeting to go? Has to be someone that can pay you, which means it's most likely not going to be a good team. And then you're going to be in could it get any worse than this? Who knows? All right, so here Gerald McCoy, the six-time Pro Bowler for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but primarily he played with Tampa, is hanging up the cleats. And we're seeing that generation, those guys. In Dominican Sue's, he's a mercenary now, year-to-year deal. He just played a year with us, or half a year, came in mid-season. But it's time for those guys to flush out the league. And thank you for your service. I mean, he played 11 seasons, but yeah, he's no longer has anything close to the tools, but still has 54 sacks. So I think he's probably number 2 D tackle in Tampa Bay there, behind the infamous and highly talented Warren Sapp. All right, let's see. Richardson not in the top 10 in the mock draft. That's just a mock draft, but it could point to the possibility of Richardson slipping in the draft, with Levis being maybe prioritized over him, and CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Those guys are most likely going to go over him, but it all depends on who those top teams, quarterback needed teams, pick. It could be, it could go down with him being drafted highly, but it depends. All depends on the potential and how teams see him and label him. But let's look at some further things. Say Odell Beckham Jr. hated the fact that he didn't have an ACL from the Rams. So he was also slated to tear that because he didn't have it, But yeah, it's interesting. He's fully healed now. Put that tissue in there from wherever where they transplanted from. But I'm sure they were kind of like, maybe a little upset about it. But he did what he helped them out, so that probably mitigated that feeling, whatever. But he just kind of is what it is, man. He's signed with the Ravens now, so he got his money. He stuck it out. Sat out last season, got healthy enough. We'll see what he brings to the league this year. All right, Jason Larkin 4 says here, Howie doesn't give a fuck what his peers in the league think, owners, whatever, only his owner. Pause. Think about taking a running back high. He said, man, ain't no taking a running back too high. Because he sees him as a weapon. I was arguing with the guy on YouTube. I'm a commenter. I'm gonna get at you. Just respond to a dude today, eviscerated him with so many things. But anyways, he tried to trade up for Christian McCaffrey in the draft. Then this past season, and I think maybe also extends to other past seasons, he was interested in trading for him when rumblings first came about. Then this season, that just passed, he was interested in trading for him at the deadline. So what? The guy can answer the question. If running backs are so per-used and seen as a anybody fits position, last priority, what is why such a high interest in running back such as Christian McCaffrey from Howie Roseman? Dude, can answer, because he sees him as a weapon that can add to our offense, and I see Bijan in the same role. I'll dive into it in a video later this offseason, but man, he can play the slot. He can give us different looks and formations with other running backs on the field as well. He has soft hands, runs good routes. He's not just a running back. There's alarm bells, ringing for you, telling you, Bijan. I'm tripping. That's the bell for 6 o'clock. Anyways, Patrick Queen. We'll move to the next topic. Patrick Queen is on the trade block, and Ravens linebacker, highly talented guy. He would be a great addition for us. He's only in his 3rd year, and had over 100 tackles. Solid season. A little bit, he slipped a little bit, but a very solid season for the Ravens last year. And they just paid a linebacker though, so they could be looking to get rid of him before and get some value for him before use him as a bargaining chip. Be excellent to add him in. Very palatable salary, and would inject an infusion of talent and youth at the linebacker position. And we could, I don't think we're going to extend him because we're just most likely use him for 2 years and then be done with him. That's just how we view the linebacker position, unfortunately. But, man, he would add a lot. It would most probably, though, sit Nakobe Dean down for another year, though. So do you want to do that, or do you just step forward with Nicholas Morrow and Nakobe Dean lining the two main linebacker positions, MLB and WLB, in your defense, on your defense? So we'll see. All right, the last topic we'll get to today: Dorian Thompson Robinson, DTR, of UCLA, came in for a visit. So this, fast guy. He's looked at as a poor man's Jalen Hurts, as of right now, a college age Jalen Hurts, playmaker, quarterback, running quarterback, because he really does maybe look to run first and then throw, has the ability to throw, but could bring him in. Could be around a 7th round pick, for us. Could go probably higher, but intriguing guy, faster than Hurts. I don't know about his arm or most of his intangibles, but we're looking at him. That means that we're interested, and we'll see. We'll see. Could it be? I don't think he'll be a priority free agent because I don't think he'll go undrafted, but we shall see. Anyways, the video went way too long. I didn't make a video yesterday, so that's probably me making up for that. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here. I mean, you're not even watching though. It's all good though. So, as always, it's Fly Eagles Fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you want.
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.